Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless. We've got another installment. Today we're going to be looking at our rare milestone. So basically what's happened so far, we've completed the uncommon build. This is what I showed you in terms of being able to actually see some gameplay, being able to see some champions in our character viewer. All of this was our uncommon build. And really it's kind of pretty much just a prototype to show that we've got a game. It's got mechanics. All of the UI was placeholder. All of the animations were placeholder, etc., etc. So our uncommon build was testing systems, making sure that they work so that when we start to throw a load more content into the game, it doesn't just fall over. For the next bunch of months, 8 sprints, we will be delivering our rare build. So our rare build is actually going to be a vertical slice of gameplay. What does that mean? It means it's going to be more like a playable game with different maps, different levels that we can complete, and we're going to have a whole bunch of systems in there as if you were playing the game. At the moment in our uncommon build, it's just testing systems. In the rare build, once we finish our kind of milestone set here, we're actually going to have a game that you could pick up and play, albeit it will still be just like a campaign type of experience. So within this rare milestone, which is going to take us through to mid-August, and really, this is getting us ready for like beta play testing. Yeah, we think that once the rare milestone is done, probably not too long after that, we'll be able to start to enlist a group of beta testers. And we've already got, by the way, a bunch of people asking about this on our Discord and in our Patreon, which will both be linked down below. You can join both of those things right now and come and join the conversation, because within those two areas, we are taking a load of feedback and a load of ideas basically to inform us building our game. But yeah, after we kind of finalize the rare build, that's when we start to think about when are we going to actually open up our beta testing. So within the rare build here, we're going to have an additional 4 fully completed maps. We've already got 2, and we're going to have 4 more in a grey box state, which means that all 10 factions will have some form of map completed, which is playable in the game to various levels of completion. We're going to have the kind of gameplay loop set up around getting heroes, going into battle, setting up your teams, etc., getting rewards for completing content. We're going to aim to have at least 25% of all of our characters created by the end of the rare milestone. So like you see here in our uncommon build, where we had, well, basically what we got here, 9. Yeah, so a whole bunch of them. Some which you won't have seen before. There's Artemis. We got Leonidas. Zeus I didn't show before, just really because he's not animated. He doesn't have his weapon properly done, but he is there. He is ready to go. He is going to pack a punch once we get him into the actual build. But yeah, we've got a bunch of different characters in this uncommon build, which you've seen before. Already on Unity, actually, we've got updates on all of these characters as well as some other ones added in. So already I'm seeing more than you're seeing here. But yeah, by the end of the rare build, which is mid-August, we're aiming to have 25% of our characters complete across mainly the Olympus, Aru, Asgard, and Avalon factions. We will have a full boss fight with a real boss that we're actually going to put into the game rather than a placeholder. We're going to have our currency and economy systems in. We're going to have portraits ready for the different champs that we build out. Music and sound effects in. Not necessarily the finalized versions, by the way. This is more about making sure that the systems work for those things. Combat mechanics are going to be expanded. So we've got more debuffs going in, more states, things like teaming up with your team for fights. All sorts of different mechanics which we're exploring for our game are going to be added in this milestone. Gear progression, which is a big one for us. We've got a really cool gearing system. We want to make sure that is in. A load of tools and systems like back-end integration stuff going in as well. The core progression for a hero, from picking them up out of a shard, the equivalent of a shard, and kind of leveling them through, will be done. And then campaign core progression will be done as well. Yeah, loads going on, honestly, in a 8 sprint cycle. Well, each sprint is 2 weeks. So this milestone is going to be a 16-week milestone to get all of this done. So a big part of this week, and actually last week as well, has been about planning the milestone. So what we do is we plan each of these different elements in terms of like a top level and then we plan everything that sits underneath it. And actually, you wouldn't believe how many things go into all of those elements I've just spoken about. Literally, it's hundreds and hundreds of different elements, which, all of the different teams. So we have a design team, we have our kind of like a dev building team, we have our art teams, both 2D and 3D. We have our VFX team, like all of the different teams basically pull together their top overriding things they're going to deliver in the milestone. And then from that, they then literally like filter out every individual piece. And that planning stage is actually massively important to make sure that we hit the goals that we're going to hit. We put a timeline against everything that we're going to do. But whilst that's been going on, there's been a little bit of polish going on. So I'm going to share with you a few things here. We've been working on a bit of, I guess, some animation stuff. So, animations now, which kind of like fit the abilities of some of the different heroes in the game. We've been working on still some of the 3D assets. So a new one, which I shared in my Discord or in the Discord the other day. It's looking like an absolute beast. King Arthur coming through. I've just seen, can't share with you yet, but I've seen first kind of like glance at his shield and his sword as well. They look absolutely legendary. So King Arthur starting to take shape. We're getting some new concepts through. So this is Isis from the Aru. So we had 3 different concepts drawn up by Esther, as I kind of explained in the upgrading process. Which, by the way, if you didn't watch that video, you should go back and check out the ability of upgrading our legendaries, because it's such a good video. It's really worth a watch, looking at how that work is done. But Esther has pulled together these kind of like 3 different concepts here. And then after some kind of like iteration and discussion, we've landed on Isis looking like this. So looking super sweet. We've got a dragon being built. So this is, I don't even how to say this one. It's a Welsh dragon. Idragoch. Saf's gonna absolutely destroy me for that one. But this was like the original view. Is this the type of vibe we wanted? And we're like, actually, we want to scale it up a bit. So Dane's done one of his cool overdraws where it's like, let's make sure we get the visual cues from the mythology, and make sure that, we got this kind of like more muscular feel to the dragon. Make sure the tail, again, fits the kind of look in general mythology. And this is still a work in progress, but this is kind of like next iteration after we start to make some of those changes. So first dragon being built out, which is cool. And then you might have seen this one before, but I think as a 3D asset, which is finished, this one's really cool. So this is Gary, who is looking super sweet, honestly. Look at the detail. Not sure if I showed this one already, actually, but yeah, still bits of polish basically going on right now for the assets that we've already got, whilst we're constantly kind of pushing through new concepts, the VFX team, as well as the animation team doing their work, so that when these assets go into the game, we're now starting to get them, feeling more like they should in-game engine as well. So tons going on. But as I say, after the kind of like August release, which is going to be mid-August, we should have a vertical slice of the game ready to go. And then after that, we'll be starting to talk about beta testing, which is super cool. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. I've been Simon, almost said Hell Hades said. I've been Simon from Fateless, and I'll see you soon.